Hi everyone. In this lesson, we'll implement bulk uploading of images related to our idea, like associated pictures and possibly some sketches by the idea's author, as well as on the page. For viewing the idea, we'll add a gallery to display these images. All right, let's get started. We'll need to define a field in the backend using Prisma, which will be called images and will be an array of strings. Where each element of the array is a public ID in our Cloudinary. Run the migration, generate, and run it, so add images to the idea. Great. Awesome. Let's handle our tasks in the backend immediately. On the backend, in the Create interface, new inputs are appearing, right? Yes, and the format here will be as follows. Images. It's an array of required strings, but it can be empty. If we wanted a non-empty array, we should have added here, for example, mn1. But we allow an empty array. The main thing is that if there are strings, they are not empty and are valid. Good. Added here. And in the update interface, this needs to be changed too. But in the update interface, we are already extending from the create interface, so nothing needs to be done there. Great. It's as if the backend is even ready, and we can start creating our multi-image upload component. Let's create a folder here, in Components, which will be called Uploads to Cloudinary. And again, index.es and index.module.cscase. All right. Let's first deal with our js.ts. The code will be as follows. So, yes, sometimes you might just notice that it's like the whole code is broken. This is because you named the file not tsx, but ts. Oops, not tsx, but ts. Yes, renaming to tsx. Now everything is fine here. So, we'll need the same hook. Use upload to Cloudinary, so we'll export it from here. Great. Exported. Now let's deal with what we have. We have such a component here. Similarly, we accept preset and type. The difference is that now value is not a single string, but a certain array of strings. Further, everything is very similar. There's also an input element that will trigger upload on onChange. The difference is that we marked it as multiple. And now in the browser, when we choose our files, it will allow us to select many at once. Okay? What will happen here on onChange? We set loading to true in the same way. And then, if we have a number of selected files, meaning length is greater than 0, and it exists, well, if the file exists, then we do the following. We have a new value. We just copy all the elements from the old value. Then we call a promise chain for all our files. And each promise is an upload to Cloudinary, which we get from this hook. When this upload completes, we get back a public ID. And we just push this public ID into a new value. And when absolutely all promises in promise all resolve, we restore our value into our new value. That is, there was, for example, an element of 0 before, a 0-element array. It will remain an array of 2 if we uploaded 2. If it was initially an array of 2, and we upload 3 more, in total, it will become an array of 5. Okay? If suddenly there's an error, we handle the error just the same. And from old memory, we then erase the value from our input element. All right? So here, basically, everything's the same. The difference is We're uploading a lot of files in parallel at the same time. Let's look further. We have a label here as well. Right here, we had a preview. But since we now have a lot of images, we need to make a preview for several images at once. So now, if there's any length in the value, we create div previews. And for each value, where each value is a public ID, we create the next div, preview place. And here, the main thing is that there's the image itself with this preview, and also a separate button to delete this specific image. So here we take a button with the class delete. When we click on it, we simply find the value in our current state that needs to be deleted. We filter it out and get what we need, like all other values except this one. And this button should look like an icon, which we don't have yet. We don't have a delete icon set. Let's go over it now and add the delete icon. Okay, so here, it's just an array of our previews that can be deleted. And again, buttons. But here, we'll have only one button. If nothing is uploaded yet, then... Oh, the other way around. If something is uploaded, then a button to upload more. But if nothing is uploaded, then just an upload button. But again, if there's an error, we display it. Okay, let's go add our icon. Well, we could visit the React Icons website to find a suitable one. So we found it. It's called this way. We name it as convenient for us, this way. All set. Now this icon is allowed for us, but we'll also need styles. And again, we will inherit the styles from our previous component. One moment, we've imported them. Well, and we've made some adjustments for the preview. Good. That's done. Now let's integrate it into our code. Okay, upload to Cloudinary. We need a page to create an idea and a page to edit an idea. Now, well, initial value complains that we haven't set images here. An empty array by default, and add the input itself. Upload to Cloudinary. Yes. Label images. Name images. Type image. Preset. So this is the preset we need for previews. Accordingly, we'll name the preset preview. Pass it to Formic. Good. So we also need to add the same on the idea edit page. So, adding here, import and initial value needs to include images. Right, but there's an error, because images isn't here since our update ID doesn't return it. It should return something. So, why isn't it returning? Hold on. It's not getting into update ID. We're taking it in get ID. So get ID isn't returning it for us. And this, start images, let's update all the retail script. That's it. So, images should appear. Oh, it's the author. My apologies. Oh, here we didn't seem to poke it. So, let's sort it out now. Raw idea. In it, we have ID slacks, count, and theoretically, all fields. Why doesn't it see it then? Edit. ID page. Refresh. Oh well, we just didn't have the TypeScript server updated. We initially had the full idea here, and there it all was, so it does see the images. Everything's fine. We just needed to update the TypeScript server. Images are here. Okay, and we added something there. Let's see what we got. The upload button appeared. Click Upload. 2 pictures. Now you can select multiple. Uploading happens. 2 pictures were uploaded. Here's our button. We can delete one. We can take and upload two more. Now, need to make sure they just append to the end of the array. Yes, they played right into our hands. Let's set the idea. Done. The idea is created. Excellent. Let's go check if our idea editing works. Done. Images have been uploaded here. We can delete the extras. Upload one more. And update the ID. Great. All right, everything is saved during editing. Great. Now, we just need to add the gallery to the idea page, but I want you to pay attention to this. It turns out that before uploading each of the images we selected, we send a request to prepare Cloudinary upload twice. And as we can see, this prepare Cloudinary upload is quite versatile. And in fact, we only need to call it once before the upload to get our image upload link. After that, we can upload different images multiple times via this link, but with a preset transformation and folder. Let's do this thing. And it's also important to note that these signed URLs expire. So, if. Well, it doesn't matter since we use it at the moment of upload. The main thing is not to request this URL too many times for setup. Get it once and use it all the time. Let's slightly modify our image upload hook. Okay. Use upload to Cloudinary. Let's work with this function. Add the following code. Okay. In the hook itself, when we're still just setting our upload to Cloudinary function, do the following. More. Okay. We'll need React. Use callback. And Loadash's memoize. Good. Okay. And they're complaining that we didn't pass everything here, but that's how we want it. All right, let's apply this function where it's needed and go over it. Okay? And we need it right here instead of what was there. So this one won't be needed anymore, but we'll need this one. Here's how it'll work. That is, when we set use callback, it means that in the end we will get back this exact function. So we can first understand it without memoizing. That is, we do it like this. Aha. See? And this function will simply return to us in getPreparedData. The whole difference is that this function will be different only if the type changes. If the type changes, we regenerate this function. Otherwise, it remains the same as it was. Inside this function, we will just send a request to our endpoint and return this prepared data. Accordingly, when we call getPreparedData, prepared data will end up here. Why do we need memoize here? We want that when we call this getPreparedData function. If we already obtained some value from it not long ago, we just reuse it and don't send the request again. That's why in memoize, as the second argument, we pass a function that determines when we need to forget, so to speak, the return value of this function and request it again. Here, it should return something that if it's the same as it was before, we use the old one. If it returns something that hasn't been returned before, we need to request the function again. We actually pass a string here because it's JSON stringify, taken based on the type of our upload. And we just take the current number of minutes, and accordingly, this function will remember what it returned for 1 minute. Then it will forget and request again, okay? And let's check how it works now. So, let's say we look at all our images. I choose 2 images. Ideally, there should be one request to the backend for prepare Cloudinary upload. That's it. We see that it's one on input, one on output, and our images have uploaded, so we slightly optimize the load on our backend. Good. So, we just need to add an image gallery to our front end. For this, let's use a library. pnpm add React Image Gallery. And we will also need its types. Wait for loading. Okay. And install the types. Good. This gallery has some styles we need to import. Importing. Yes, they are here. Good. Okay. Now let's place our gallery on the page of our ideas. Okay, going to the View Idea page. And I think we'll insert this gallery above the text. We need to import. Let's import everything now and sort it out. So, and we need the image gallery itself. Yeah, so, and right away we'll need some styles here as well. We'll add them too. It'll be above the text, add margin at the top and bottom. Fine, is he complaining? That's lint to beat. So, where's our gallery now? Here's our gallery. Let's break it all down. Ideally, images can be an empty object. If it's empty, there won't be a gallery. But if this array isn't empty, then there will be a gallery. Here we call the image gallery that we imported from our library. You can read its documentation, but it accepts some parameters. For example, you can enable autoplay, and for this, they have a special button. I don't want to see it. You can make a button to disable full screen. Let's say I don't want to see it either. But the most interesting is the array of its items, what the gallery consists of. We take our images array, iterate over each image, where, I remind you, each image is a public ID from Cloudinary, and we return an object from each ID of each image. So items is an array of objects with original and thumbnail. Original is what we see when the picture is opened. Thus, we select the large preset. And thumbnail is a small preview, all visible at once. And we take for the same picture, but with the preview preset. Okay, added that. Let's see how it looks in the browser. All right, here we have this idea, null Perl. Let's go in here. And here's our gallery. Previews. Here's the gallery itself. It adjusts its height automatically. There are many settings to play with. Let's look at the idea without images. That's all. And here there's no gallery. And here there's a gallery. So, we've handled the bulk image upload and even added a gallery. Thank you all. Let's move on.